Hey guys, this week's video is going to be all about the NHS Mental Health Service. Now, the NHS Mental Health Service isn't really that great. You know, some branches of the mental health service are great, like cognitive behavioural therapy. That was amazing and really helped me, whereas the core sort of service isn't really that great. Now, a few of you have asked me in the past whether or not it's worth it going to the service, or is it best to sort of do it by yourself or go private or anything like that. So I'm here to sort of tell you more about my experience and what I really think about the service. The mental health service really isn't that great. You know, mental health on a whole isn't really perceived as a huge problem. It's sort of something you sweep under the rug. So the service isn't gonna be top notch. So you sort of have to have that in mind when you go into the service. But there is a huge waiting list. I mean, you know, you could be referred to the mental health service, but then not actually get like an assessment appointment for up to like minimum 8 months. You're sort of left on your own to sort of deal with it because it's just so long. Like, the waiting lists are so annoying. Be prepared if you're going to go to the mental health service. You're not going to see one person. You see so many different people, and it gets really annoying quite fast. You have like an assessment appointment, then you get referred to someone else and someone else and someone else, and then you'll see someone for about a few weeks, and then either they'll sort of shut the door on you and send you on your way, or you'll go to another person. You're never with someone long term. So just as you start to feel comfortable with someone, you're sort of like, okay, bye, or you're referred to someone else. And you know how if people have been to the service before, or when you see a doctor or anyone like that, they ask you all about, you know, your past and what could have led to it, and they sort of dig down. But be prepared that when you say that's like your assessment person, you're going to then have to say it to everybody else afterwards, because they have this thing about not reading what other sort of mental health people have said in your folder. They like to hear it from your own mouth. So you will have to tell your story so many times, and it gets annoying really fast, because you're just repeating yourself over and over and over again to different people, and it just never ever seems to end. But, you know, they are good. They are there for a reason. They are qualified. They have some great ideas, and, you know, can be really helpful. It's just sometimes you just need a better service. But, you know, I wouldn't be here today without them. You know, cognitive behavioural therapy was amazing for me. It really helped with my anxiety and a bit with my depression, and I'd be totally lost without them. Whereas I'm now sort of in the core side of mental health, and that's when you're literally like a yo-yo. You are tossed around from different people, from different departments, never really settling down enough to sort of get your side across. But, you know, they do help. They give you ideas for self-harm, ways to cope with your depression, grief, anything like that. They can also prescribe medicines if you need them, antidepressants, you know, stuff if it's more of a mental disorder, and everything like that you can't do if you do it on your own. And it is often good to talk to a stranger. So there is sort of good or bad sides, but you do sort of need a thick skin if you're going to go into the service, because it's hard. It's really hard. It's very frustrating. You are told that you're going to get referred, and you can wait like a minimum of 8 months just to see someone who's going to assess you whether or not you're worthy enough to sort of go into the programme. And then you are literally waiting more and more, tossed between different people, and they're throwing different ideas at you, and you sort of are like in a hurricane. Everything sort of throws at you. You never really have time to sort of sit down and think, is this really what I want? But, you know, they do come in handy, but sometimes you need people who haven't learned from a teacher or a textbook. You need someone there who has full-time experience has gone through it, has seen someone gone through it, rather than stuff that they've sat and read about in a textbook. I'm in the NHS mental health service, and you know, it's so hard. Sometimes you want to scream, you want to cry, because you just get so frustrated with them all. I mean, in the past few months, I must have seen about 6 or 7 different people, and I'm still sort of waiting to find the person that's going to now help me. And it's really hard because they think they know best. I know they're trying to help you. They think that they know what's best for you better than you, because they sort of see you as a mental health person that can't really be trusted enough to make their own decisions. Sorry for the interruption. My doggy thought he would like to join in on the video as well. He obviously has some opinions about the NHS mental health service as well. Yeah, the professionals sort of see you as a mental health patient and not really a person. They think you can't really be trusted enough to know what's best for you, and they sort of try and often push you into what they think you should go to, and often or not, sometimes they push you in the right direction, but sometimes you honestly have to listen to your own instincts and say, no, I know what's best for me. I know me better than anyone else, and I don't want to do that. I want to do the other option, or, you know, I'm not doing it because I know that it won't work for me. You do have to learn to stand up for yourself, because they are going to push you and try to get you to do different things that maybe aren't right for you. But you've got to remember that no one else knows you better than you. You know what works for you, what sort of, if talking's going to work, if more practical thing will work, if you need more like a hard push, or you need a soft sort of push. You're the only one that knows what is going to work for you. And if you don't like the way and the direction they're pushing you in, you sort of have to be a roadblock and say, hang on, no. I know what's best for me, and I know if we continue down this bit, it's just going to backfire and it's not going to work. We need to go in the other direction. And often or not, sometimes they listen and sometimes they don't. And it's hard. It really is hard. But you sort of have to weigh up the pros and cons of going to the service, because sometimes it works and you come out of an appointment where you've been in for an hour feeling like you can conquer the world. You know, you've done something, you know, you've achieved something, you've ripped off one of your bandages and it feels great. Whereas sometimes you will come out of an appointment and you want to punch a wall. You want to cry, you want to scream, because it's really hard. And often or not, they're not gonna baby you. You're there because of a reason, and they want to get to the reason so they can sort of help you figure it out. And they're not gonna sit there and sort of rub your back and give you a hug. They're gonna be there to sort of push you to get to the root cause so they can fix it. You've got to sort of think of yourself like an onion, and you have all these layers, and the main hurtful problem could be like the last layer, and every appointment they're going to want to peel several layers off at once so they can quickly get to the root cause of the problem and help you. Rather, you would quite like to be made safe and secure before you slowly peel them off. They're not going to do that. They're actually going to go in there, first appointment, and talk about everything from since you were born to the day you see them, and they want to know if every problem that you've ever encountered, anything that could be the root cause for your mental illness. I know a lot of it seems quite negative, but nothing's really positive in the mental health world. A lot of people don't even give mental illness a second thought, so the mental health department isn't gonna be great, and you have to sort of keep that in mind. The people that are in that service obviously want to help you, and each different person has their own way of helping people, and you've got to be open-minded when you go in. You can't be closed off and be like, if they say something that hurts you and makes you cry and sad, you can't then go, right, no, never seeing them again. you sort of have to trust that person, but you also have to be open-minded that they're doing that because they want to help you rather than bully you. And I think it's generally based on the person you are, whether or not mental health service can work. You know, some people can do it themselves. They can sort of kick their own butt and get up and sort of work on it by themselves, find that they can do it better if they do it by themselves or with the support of their family and friends. Other people can do it with support from their friends and family or strangers from a support group and like that. Or other people need a professional's opinion, and that's okay. It really does depend on the person you are. But if you are gonna go into the mental health service, it's gonna be hard. It's frightening. There's a lot of waiting between appointments and different assessments, and there's so many different branches and so many rules, and it's a huge hurricane, and you're gonna get hurt the majority of the time because it's really painful to sort of go into an appointment thinking, oh, I want to tackle something, but then they sort of bypass that and go to a harder thing, and you've got to really ready to sort of be poked and prodded psychologically, and it's really frightening and scary. So if you honestly feel like you would do better with support from friends, family, support groups or anything like that, do it that way first. Or if you think that, you know, I can't do it alone, I need someone there to give me professional advice and tips and get to the root cause of the problem, then go to the mental health service. You know, they are great. I wouldn't be here today without them, obviously. But you've sort of got to be prepared for what is going to happen. You can't go in. It's not like the films you see where you go in, see this psychiatrist, and in a few sessions you're fixed and you lie on this couch and they sort of hypnotise you. It's not a thing like that. It's basically a room with mostly uncomfortable chairs, and you're sat there to be poked and prodded psychologically. You're not there with like food on the table with a cup of teas and on the couch and all that. It doesn't work like that. They're physically there to sort out the problem, not to create some fantasy that you see in a movie. So that's sort of my experience with the service. I've had a lot of bad, but also some good has come out of it. My experience with the service has been hard. There's been a lot of heartache and sadness and tough questions, and I've been in the service for a long time now, between different branches of the departments and different people, but a lot of good has also come out of it. I'm sort of getting a proper, more thorough diagnosis now, and my anxiety, you know, with the cognitive behavioural therapists, that has gotten a lot more under control, and I'm sort of getting a sort of more structured road onto what happened that sort of made me so depressed and what I can really do with coping with it and all this. And I couldn't have done that without the service, but there also is a lot of heartache that comes with being a part of the mental health service. Now, I know that the mental health service is probably different everywhere, and this is only the NHS one, not a private one, but that's sort of my area of the mental health service, and I'm not dissing it in any way, just in case any people watching are from the mental health service. It's just my opinion and my experience with the service. Now, as a lot of you have pointed out and given me some ideas, that it is in fact the group's first birthday at the end of the week, and I am so excited, and I cannot believe that it's been a year since this whole fiasco started, and I'm amazed that I've managed to stick with it, and I'm amazed I'm even on YouTube, considering it started with blog posts, and I never thought I'd ever be sat in front of a camera filming videos and putting it on YouTube. So it's really surreal, and I'm so excited for what the second year will bring, and I cannot wait to see how much more the group will grow. So thank you all. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.